The next speaker at W Summit, Tamanna Desai, is the head of UX at Tata Consultancy Services. She'll be discussing the empowerment of women through digital innovations and designs and why it's important to design women-centric products. So, without further ado, let's welcome Tamanna and start this session.
Hi everyone, I'm Tamanna Desai from TCS. Today's topic is empowerment of women in digital innovation and design. So I've learned that designs that are not as per women. So women are up to 3 times more likely to die from severe heart attack. The heart attack symptoms in media are mostly for men. Women are 47% likely to suffer from severe injuries in car crashes. Damage used in car crash test is always men. Seat belt discomfort for women, especially for pregnant women. Women's hands are really smaller, like 2.5 centimeter, and nowadays you see larger phones. Women and men get similar dosage of ionizing radiations. Hands have a higher chances of getting radiation-induced cancer. Men are 6% more likely than women to receive CPR from bystander and higher chances for survival. Health trackers like Fitbit, Nike, Apple watches and apps did not had period tracking function in initial models. Pink color is always associated by women, and somehow we have seen in surveys like they prefer blue, not pink, but it is always assumed that. Higher heels were a very discomfort, and a very common problem by women. It is actually used as a styling, but nobody understands their discomfort, right? Also, the narrow fit shoes. Why should we build a product and services with women-centric design, right? Because McKinsey Global Institute report suggested if women played a equal in labor market, a staggering 28% trillion could be added to a global GDP by 2025. $50 billion femtech industry estimated to be worth by 2025. 70 to 80% of consumer spending is driven by women. $43 trillion of a global consumer spending is expected to be controlled by women, and $20 trillion is approximate spending of a woman that drives the world's largest economy annually is a 40% larger than China. There is a huge business opportunity which cannot be ignored. There should be a strategy for designing for female consumers and users. Shrink it or bring it, it has never worked. Women-centric design means putting women in center and her need in focus. So some examples like product design, products which are using women-centric design. So Mesho is one of the website, where it is helping women entrepreneur, to come up as an entrepreneur and put their products on Mesho website. So it's very good portal for women. Next is Urban Club also. It also help empowered small scale businesswomen to come and to do their business from Urban Club. Also, there are some case studies which I would like to present from TCS. So we built a breastfeeding app for women, especially underprivileged women, okay, in multiple languages, especially Indian languages. Women often have this, social stigma, when they have to speak about breastfeeding and understand the concept of breastfeeding, or they have issues, or they want to learn like how to do it. So this is a big problem, and we see in India it's not easy, right? When you speak to your mother or sister directly on breastfeeding, right? So at times women feel home to us. So there are a lot of issues which we saw, right? There was a lack of knowledge and access to healthcare resources. So we built this application in 3 major category, which was feeding, baby care, and mother care. and we supported in multiple languages. And Anganwadi workers were the main support here because they use this app in villages. So, a lot of women were using this app to understand their queries and how to do the breastfeeding or how to do baby care and mother care. So there was one example, right? One female, she was, deaf and dumb. Uh, she was not able to ask her queries, and with this app, we saw how smooth journey for her as a mother was. Another is healing touch for women. So we build and rehab solution for women patients. So generally, if you see in India, like a lot of women are facing arthritis issue. Okay, they are facing major hurdle for accessing medical facility. So they generally have a joint pain, and physiotherapy is required. It is during also pregnancy or during certain age of life. They have these issues, and there are difficulties in following up, okay, to reach out to hospitals and do the physiotherapy sessions, because it is for a month and it is for a particular session and all. So healing touch was an application which we built in for women. This was introduced in community centers and villages, so where women don't have to commute to the hospitals or a physiotherapist. They can do it in the community centers in their villages or in small towns. So where a computer based and Kinect based app was used to help women to do the exercises which were assigned through doctors to the women's. And we saw lot of a good videos, and a lot of patients were giving us good progress on their health and about getting the physiotherapy and all those things. So yeah, this was one of the very good case studies which was very popular. We actually experimented in Kolkata, in some part of Bangalore, and also in Maharashtra. Wellness app for women. So this is a mental well-being app which we had built for women. So mental disorder can affect a woman and men differently. Okay, so women experience symptoms of mental disorder at times of hormonal changes. Menopause is also different for women having symptoms of mental disorder, like they go in depressions and all. More than 1 in 5 women in United States experienced the mental health condition in 2020. Women are twice as likely than men to diagnose with a panic disorder or a unibipolar depression, and women are 10 times more likely to affect by eating disorder, and women may have less likely than men to stick to treatment after experiencing symptoms like mental illness. So what we did is we created an app which was helping women to understand where they stand in the mental well-being due to some kind of games which we introduced, also some kind of we had notebook writing and videos which they can interact with, and we understand where is the mental state of a woman, and if the doctor is required to connect with them, then the doctor was asked to connect, because we had some doctor which was paneled for our well-being application. And also, if you are in a minor state of well-being, mental well-being issue, there was some very suggestive some games which were given. So some with water, with colors, and some games for meditation with sound and all, which helped women to balance on their well-being. So yeah, this was also used, and this is also used in a couple of pockets in TCS in a corporate. Uh, Yeah, so there were 3 wellness packages which with 12 intervention. Example, there were mindful activities, cognitive restructure, journaling, and mood monitoring, which was some of the example which we designed. Also, behavioral science backed therapy is known to provide stress relief, operational as a serious gains. And example life laughter, music, and color therapy and deep breathing were used as a common games for their, mental well-being. Uh, Next solution we worked were on senior citizen solution to track and monitor activity of elderly women by IoT. So, so the population of elderly women is likely to increase in future, and there is a problem for a need of a special attention. So by 2050, women over 60s would exceed the number of elderly men by 18.4 million. Due to the nuclear families, the elder care management is getting more difficult, and elderly women in metropolis cities are more likely to feel socially aligned, alienated, and than their rural counterpart. And 80 years and above, widowhood dominates the status of women in 71% of women. So yeah, so this were some of the facts which we had, and we built a IoT based application for them, where the whole sensor based, we put a sensor in whole house, where we were monitoring their fall, their sleeping pattern, the way they do the movement in the house, the way they take their medicines and food and all. So that's the solution where we track the elderly patient, and we also give support to them with the caretakers, which are assigned to them. So if there is an emergency, the caretaker immediately go for the support, or the family members are updated. So this was introduced in Singapore as a concept, and a lot of families were using this for their senior citizen. It was called Senior Star. Thank you so much from my side. Thanks.